Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts with the nation in Mann Ki Baat today. The 66th episode of the monthly radio program will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan at 11 a.m. After Rajasthan's swarm of locusts threatened the skies of Delhi, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, 3 districts of Delhi on high alert. Delhi government issues advisory. Haryana government eliminates about 35% of locusts by spraying pesticides. In Assam, 18 lives lost due to floods. Heavy downpour in the last 24 hours. Over 4.5 lakh people affected due to floods in 25 districts. Relief measures underway. Recovery rate from COVID in the country is more than 58%. Number of active cases crossed 2,03,000. Ministry of Health releases revised clinic management for treatment of COVID patients. Steroid dexamethasone approved as a treatment. And global number of COVID-19 positive cases nears a grim mark of 1 crore. Over 50 lakh have recovered. Death toll more than 4,98,000. US worst hit with over 25 lakh confirmed cases. Global COVID-19 fundraising meeting raises $6.9 billion for tests, treatment and vaccine. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. today. It will be the 66th episode of the monthly radio program. It will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. And after Rajasthan's swarm of locusts threatened the skies of Delhi, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, locust swarms moved from Rajasthan to Rewari in Haryana on Friday. Swift control operations were launched. However, leftover locusts again regrouped and the swarm divided into 3 groups, one of which moved towards Gurugram and from there to Faridabad and onwards to Uttar Pradesh. Another locust swarm moved towards Dwarka in Delhi, from there to Daulatabad, Gurugram, Faridabad, and this swarm had also entered Uttar Pradesh. The third group was seen in Palwal in Haryana and has also moved towards Uttar Pradesh. As of now, no locust swarms are spotted in any city areas. Delhi government has issued advisory. Haryana government swung into action and issued an alert across many districts of the state. Haryana government has also eliminated about 35% of the locusts by spraying pesticides. Secretary of the Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare, Sanjay Agarwal, reviewed the locust control operations. He has said that the government is concerned about the issue and is dealing urgently with the situation. The centre is in close touch with the affected states and an advisory has been issued. 15 sprayers will start arriving soon from Britain. Drones will be used to spray pesticides on tall trees and inaccessible places for effective control of locusts, while plans are afoot to deploy helicopters for aerial spray.
आज तक 1,27,000 हेक्टेयर एरिया में लोकस को कंट्रोल किया गया है। भारत सरकार टीमों द्वारा राज्य सरकार के समन्वय लेते हुए किया गया है। करीब 45 स्वयं जो 55 आए थे पूरी तरह खत्म हो गए हैं और 10 डिफरेंट विधा में हैं। जो आज ये गुरुग्राम के आसपास आया था और टच हुआ था, ये स्वयं 25 तारीख को 4 किलोमीटर बाय 2 किलोमीटर का एंटर किया था झुंझुनू जिले में। इसकी व्यवस्था ये होती है कि रात को बैठता है स्वयं पूरा और जहाँ पे बैठता है रात को 8 बजे फिर हम लोग सारा प्लान करते हैं कि कहाँ पे कंट्रोल व्यवस्था की जाए।
And up next, we'll take a look at the several steps which are being taken by the central government and the state governments to strengthen the capacity of the locust control measures. Now, these include locust circle offices will have over 100 ground control equipments by July, including those from United Kingdom. 60 control teams and over 200 central government personnel are engaged in locust control operations. And also, when we talk of other measures, then India is the first country which is using drones for locust control after finalizing all the required protocols. Enough stock of pesticides is available with the Locust Control Organization and the state governments. Ministry of Home Affairs has included new norms of assistance under SDRF and NDRF for dealing with locust menace. Hiring of vehicles including water tankers, tractors with spray equipment and purchase of plant protection chemicals is being ensured. Financial assistance of 16.86 crore rupees has been sanctioned for Rajasthan for purchase of and hiring of the equipment. Financial assistance of 1.8 crore rupees has been sanctioned for Gujarat for purchase and hiring of equipment. SOP of approved pesticides and awareness videos were also shared with all the stakeholder states. No significant crop losses have been reported from Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Bihar and Haryana. Some minor crop losses have been reported in some districts of Rajasthan. Virtual meetings of the technical officers of Southwest Asian countries, including Afghanistan, India, Iran and Pakistan, have taken place on weekly basis. Southwest Asian countries share technical information related to the locust control measures. Assam has been receiving heavy rainfall since last few days. 21 districts in Assam have been hit by floods due to heavy downpour in the last 24 hours. Assam State Disaster Management Authority has said that the number of flood-affected persons in Assam rose to 4,62,777 on Saturday, and 2 more human lives have been lost in Goalpara district in the last 24 hours. A total of 18 persons have died in Assam during this wave of floods, which began from 22nd of May. Dhemaji is the worst hit district in this spate of floods, as 99,116 people are feeling the wrath of the waters. A total of 1,289 villages across 21 districts of Assam, including Dhemaji, Lakhimpur, Kamrup, Udalguri, Darang and Baksa, have been affected. State government has set up relief camps throughout the state to deal with the situation. 19,496 inmates are taking shelter in 132 relief camps set up across the state. Crop area of 37,313.14 hectares is flooded, according to the reports. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prasar Bharati, while speaking to a private news channel, clarified the government's stand on China. He said that India wants good relations with all its neighboring countries, including China. But if anyone considers it as a weakness of India, then they will have to face the consequences.
We are building infrastructure, and you know, Golden, that airstrip, that is what is actually happening on ground. And I don't know why China got irritated, because whatever work we are doing in our part of the LAC, and therefore we have been very clear, our conscience is clear, and we want friendship with all, and therefore Modi ji also took lead in building up friendship with China also. But if you do mischief, we will not allow to, and we will not take it like.
Now, he also accused Congress party on the alleged ties between China and Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Prasar Bharati also talked of how the grand old party has compromised with the interests of the nation.
This is compromising the national interest. This is compromising national interest because India has a peculiar relationship with China, and we have issues to be solved. Until they took money from China, and they were negotiating, they were also talking about FTAs. And as you know, in 2003, our trade deficit with China was just $1 billion. And now it is more than, during UPA time it went to $38 billion. So this is how this happened. This happened because Congress compromised on national interest. There was another yesterday revelation that the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation also received money from Prime Minister National Relief Fund. This is loot. This is fraud. And more importantly, what today you are revealing is a connection of Choksi to RGF funds. I also eager to see what it is.
And up next, we'll take a look at the impact of COVID-19 in the country. The total number of recovered COVID-19 cases has fast outgrown the number of active COVID-19 cases. The difference between recoveries and active cases has exceeded 1 lakh. Currently, the recovered cases have exceeded the active cases by 1,06,661, while the number of active cases stands at 2,03,051. The number of cured cases is 3,09,712. With this encouraging status, the recovery rate has also improved. As a testimony to the ramped-up testing facilities, India now has 1,026 diagnostic labs dedicated to COVID-19. Now, these include 741 in the government sector and 285 private labs. The total number of samples tested up to June 27th is 82,27,802. And one of the largest evacuation missions of its kind, both in terms of magnitude and geographical reach, Vande Bharat mission continues successfully. Giving the latest update on the status of special flights, Union Minister for Civil Aviation Hardeep Singh Puri said that over 147,000 Indians have returned on Vande Bharat flights and more than 52,000 have flown out to different countries so far. 4,504 people have returned to India on 27 June 2020. Vande Bharat mission is one of the largest and immensely successful evacuation missions undertaken in recent times. A central team led by Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Love Agrawal, will visit Telangana today to coordinate with the state officials in strengthening COVID-19 management efforts. The team yesterday visited Maharashtra and Gujarat a day before. The team is reviewing measures like testing, implementation of containment strategies, hospital and quarantine facilities, treatment protocols, among others, undertaken by the state authorities for containment of COVID-19 and reduction of fatalities. 8,265 active cases and 243 deaths have been recorded from Telangana. Maharashtra, which is the worst affected state in the country, has recorded 67,615 active cases and 7,273 deaths, while Gujarat has recorded 6,511 confirmed cases and 1,789 deaths so far. Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank virtually participated in the G20 Extraordinary Virtual Education Ministers meeting yesterday. The special session was convened to discuss the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the education sector. The HRD Minister said that to bring all e-resources on a common platform, we are soon going to launch Prime Minister e-Vidya program. All educational e-resources will be brought on one platform under the concept of One Nation, One Digital program. Further, there will be one dedicated TV channel per grade for classes 1st to 12th to provide quality educational material benefiting over 25 crore school children. Also, 100 top-ranked universities in the country are soon going to start full-fledged online programs.
सभी ऑनलाइन संसाधनों को एक और मजबूती प्रदान की जा रही है। प्रधानमंत्री ई विद्या के तहत वन नेशन वन प्लेटफॉर्म और वन क्लास वन चैनल अवधारणा के तहत सभी छात्रों एवं दिव्यांगजनों का ऑनलाइन पाठ्यक्रम उपलब्ध कराने का सुनिश्चितता की जा रही है।
Up next, we'll take a look at the global update on COVID-19. The number of COVID-19 cases is approaching the 1 crore mark globally. It has reached 99.53 lakh. At least 4,98,178 fatalities due to COVID-19 have been recorded worldwide. The US continues to lead the world in COVID-19 cases with more than 25.08 lakh confirmed cases and over 1.25 lakh deaths. Brazil is the second most infected country of the world with over 13.13 lakh cases. Russia comes in after it with 6.26 lakh cases. As the United States recorded the largest single-day increase of new cases of COVID-19, Texas and Florida bars and restaurants were slapped with new restrictions. In the reversal of his early moves to relax restrictions, Texas governor has ordered bars across the state to close and required restaurants to limit indoor seating capacity to 50%. In an attempt to combat infections, mayor of a Houston suburb imposed an overnight curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. every night until further notice. Florida, another state that reopened its economy relatively earlier, told bar owners in the state to immediately stop serving alcohol on their premises. Florida on Saturday once again shattered its record for daily coronavirus cases with 9,585 confirmed infections. A global fundraising meeting on Saturday raised $6.9 billion from the United States, the European Commission, and numerous countries to fight COVID-19, with many participants stressing that an eventful vaccine should be available to anyone who needs it. 40 governments took part in the global summit and shared their views. Money will be used for COVID-19 tests, treatments, and vaccines, and also to support the world's poorest and most marginalized communities.
First, we need a vaccine. Then we need to make this vaccine affordable. And for that, I'm trying to convince high-income countries to reserve vaccines not only for themselves, but also for low and middle-income countries. And this is what our campaign, Global Goal, Unite for Our Future, is all about. This is a stress test for solidarity. And this event here gives me hope.
Wherever it is found, whoever finds it, then we, as world leaders, have a moral duty to ensure that it is truly available to all, because this pandemic threatens every one of us. Defeating it is the most important shared endeavour of our times, and when we do so, it will not be a victory for one nation, but a triumph for all humanity.
Brazil has signed a $127 million agreement to locally start production of an experimental vaccine developed by AstraZeneca that has shown promise to fight COVID-19. And according to WHO, AstraZeneca vaccine is considered the world's leading candidate and most advanced in terms of development to obtain license and become an official vaccine against the disease. Brazil is the second most affected country in the world from COVID-19. The virus has so far claimed around 57,070 lives in the country, with the number of cases of infection more than 13,660. In Spain, 40 drones lit up the night sky over Madrid as part of a special display to pay tribute to the victims of COVID-19 and honor the emergency services. The programmed drones with multicolored LED lights created different forms, including a heart and two people, messages of hope and thank you, and flags of other countries fighting COVID-19 pandemic. Spain has been one of the worst hit countries from COVID-19, with more than 28,000 deaths and nearly 250,000 cases of the virus so far. And in a bid to unwind the emergency measures enforced to stop the spread of COVID-19, British government has released new travel advisory allowing all essential travel outside Britain. The government has also renounced 14-day quarantine for the countries it deemed to be at low risk for the pandemic. Now, according to the new eased measures, British government will categorize nations into green, amber and red, out of which passengers arriving from only red zone countries will have to quarantine themselves for 14 days. The death toll in the country from COVID-19 is more than 43,590, while the number of cases have exceeded 311,720. Stop COVID app, which is France's state-supported contact tracing application has been downloaded by 1.9 million, which is just 2.7% of its population. France's Digital Affairs Minister, Cedric O, said that people are uninstalling this app, which could be explained as being less afraid from the virus. Launched on June 2nd in order to contain the spread of coronavirus, the app warns users if they have come into contact with any infected person from COVID-19. The death toll from the virus in France is more than 29,780, with the number of cases crossing 1,99,470. And back home, countering misinformation on government policies and schemes, PIB regularly does a fact check. The latest one dealt with a claim regarding some persons from the scientific panel of the Ministry of Ayush blocking the approval of an alleged medicine of corona, while the truth is that there is no such scientific panel. That's it in this edition of the News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.